Okay, good afternoon, guys. I hope everyone is well. Okay, so Friday, another week gone. We are rapidly aiming towards the end of the month. I can't believe it doesn't seem 5 minutes ago since Christmas, does it? And we're 2/3 of the way through January already. Unbelievable. Okay, so we had a channel up here. It's about as best as I could draw it. It fits okay. We had a break and a new high. Now, I ummed and ahed about this. It is a failure. And there's also a second entry long which triggered. Now I got into that trade, and when it broke below, it came back up. So I didn't quite have that effect that I expected it to. I was looking for it to get down here, and there was enough space to make 2 points, but it came down, ticked below there, and came back up a little bit. And so I just decided to get out of it. It's not the sort of trade I take there where we have a break and a new high and we start working down straight away, because you don't know whether we're going to, come down. But I took it anyway, and I got a couple of points out of it. So it's $50 on 2 accounts. It's a quick 100, isn't it? So, sometimes we take these trades sometimes, don't we? And sometimes, they're okay sometimes. But it worked. It did what it was supposed to. But I just lost my bottle a little bit and got out. I'm not a fan of trading pre-market. I'm not doing it from now on. Market moves too slow. It's just unnerving the longer you're in a trade. So, hey, Speedy. How you doing, buddy? So, yeah. So I'm waiting, really, to take it and run. Yeah. Trouble is, we used to sort of, when the market opens, we're used to that quite fast speed, and you get used to it. And then if you take something pre-market, or when the market's just flat and dead and it goes slow, it's really unnerving. I don't like it. So forget it from now on. I'm not going to take any pre-market stuff. I'm just going to, in fact, I can probably adjust that now. I'm going to just leave it. Yeah, that looks okay, actually. I'm just going to leave it and wait for the market to open. There's nothing worse than trading when it's slow. So, Speedy, how are you? Armanas, how you doing? Kev, how you doing, buddy? So let's see what today brings. So we have got some news coming up in around about 30 minutes, so just going to keep an eye on that. No matter how many times I have that damn thing on there, I tend to forget it. You got your head screwed in and your eyes focused on there, haven't you? Trading 5 PAs. You are. Good on you, mate. Good on you. That's my plan. That's my first, okay, market is open. That's my first sort of proper target, really, 5. I've got 2. And I want to build that up and start taking a monthly, and with some of the money I'm going to add a couple more, 2, maybe 3 more, something like that. Okay, so we've got a break here. There is probably a bigger channel there. Now, I expect this to come up to the top here, which on this, it's going to look like a break. So keep an eye on this. No good there. So let's just... So we've got one leg up. So have I missed? Michael, how you doing, bud? I just got your email, actually. I just literally just opened it about 5 minutes before. So have I said hello to you, Rody? And I've said hello to you, I think, haven't I, or haven't I? How you doing? Yeah, I like 5. 5's a good number. I mean, $2,000 per month. It's a tidy little sum of money to earn, isn't it? So, yeah, that's my target. So let's just see what's going on here. So I had that shorter channel there. And then when we had this, I extended it because it touched there. It looked pretty good, to be fair, and we had a break in a new low. No setup there. Not on my chart anyway. There was a second entry, but the signal bar was naff. And at the time, there was some space up to the EMA on this. So it just didn't really interest me, that. So we are in a channel here. I don't think I can extend this anymore. That fits too nice, really. If we extend it to that, it's just going to miss out all this. So let's see how we got on. See if we can get green for Friday. I did have a look at yesterday's just to see if anything incorporated in there. I didn't really. So daily, we could get some downward stuff today. We still seem to be in this range, and it looks like we're coming off the tops again. So we've got to pull out maybe one attempt, two attempts. So it's hard to say, but it does look like there's a chance we could get some downward stuff today. We have turned off that top, but we are getting a bit of a pullback, so who knows? That's something to keep an eye on. So look. So we've had this channel, we've had a break, 1, 2 pushes down to a new low. I have to keep an eye on this because at the moment it looks to me like we're still in a channel here on the NQ. So I have had that little channel, but then we've had a break, 2 pushes down, and it's continued to go down. So just have to keep an eye on this at the minute. But we have had I like that channel. Actually, it fits really nice, fits tight. That fits very snug. So does that. And right from the very top, and the backside finishes nice as well. So a clear break, 2 pushes down to a new low. So let's have a look at this. That all finishes quite nice, fits quite nice with the break and a new high by a tick. So it may be a leg and a leg down. Let's have a look at that. If that's a leg and a leg, we're right at the bottom. So let's see what happens here. I'm certainly not thinking about going short at the moment because we've already had a break, 2 pushes down to a new low. Be interested to see if that does come down or it traps. We've had a break here from this, but there is 2 legs, so we could push up a little bit here. So I'd be interested to see if this traps any shorts or whether it does come down. I'm just sitting tight at the minute because that is such a nice fitting channel, and we've had a break, then 2 pushes. So the last thing I'm thinking about is going short just at the moment. Let's have a look. I think we may have a little range going on there. Yeah, I believe so. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. 1, 2, 3, 4 down the bottom. So let's see if we are going to pull down or we're going to push up. We've had a break. It's hard to say here. Could be just a channel there with a break. There is a lower high there. Way too risky for me. We're clearly ranging at the moment. It may come down. This certainly could come down. Or it could just trap a bunch of shorts and push up. The last thing I want to do is go short into that lot. It has triggered it as well. So that for me is likely to stop that out. So if you took that lower high, I think you're going to get done, unfortunately. Let's see if anybody may have put a different channel here. Let's have a look. There is a possibility of that, but to me, that okay, yeah, I'm just looking on here now. That's looking like a lower high, second entry short. I'm just staying out here at the moment. It's a bit sideways here. It does seem to be holding that, if that is a channel. I'm just not massively convinced just at the moment. Let's get rid of it. Focus on. So we got a leg up and a pullback. Yeah, this looks like it's going to break above all this. Let's see. We're still in a range. I can drop that range a bit to the bottom there. Touch, touch, touch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. What would that have made? Okay, so you'd have got 1.25. Yeah, it's just too risky going long into that. Going short into that, because you can clearly see it's sideways. So hence I stayed out of there. I'll be amazed if that doesn't get stopped out. Yeah, this to me looks like it's trapping shorts. There's shorts in there. I'd like to see that trigger, but I believe that's going to push up right to the top. Incidentally, this 80% off finishes tonight. Yeah, midnight Eastern Standard Time. So if you do want an 80% off, I have chatted with a few people as well, and the word is they're not extending it, which is surprising actually, because the sales they're having on are very short and sweet. I'm not quite sure why they are changing things, but there we go. But yeah, you got my code up there or down there if you want to use it. It's appreciated. And the day as well after today, if you take a trade, if you take one, don't pass it today. It just carries on as normal tomorrow. But I'm not a massive fan of the day passes. It doesn't mean you have to trade it. Right, this to me looks like a failed second entry short, leg up, 2 legs back, leg up. I think this is coming up here personally. And I think there's going to be a bunch of shorts trapped there, and that thing is just going to push. So, shorts there, shorts there. I'd like to see that trigger, and then up we go. Now go. I still don't think there's anything. Oh, I don't know. For me, this is blown out of steam. This is going up, I think. Certainly to the top of this. See, this is when we get conflicting things. This is looking like it's trying to push up. This looks like it's trying to push down. That makes me nervous of this, that there's going to be people thinking, yeah, I want the second leg, and they're going to get in, and they're going to get in, and this thing's just going to turn. I hate it. That's the good thing about having this. When you got conflicting pattern, we've got to push up. 2 attempts to go lower, so it's a failed second entry short. It may still go down, but when we got conflicting patterns like this, I tend to stay out of it, because I've got into trades like this before. Sometimes it just drops like a stone, but other times it'll turn. You think we're going lower? Yeah, I've got mixed feelings, because it's hard to say. You just never know. If this thing turns and pushes up, then this thing will as well. Let's have a look. We might have a second entry long trap on the daily. Is it a daily? Second entry long trap on the daily. See what I mean? That's going to have a push in a minute. That looks like a bull flag. You think there's going to be a fair few stops in there, isn't there? Thinking, yeah, 1 leg down, second leg down, we're coming down here. Maybe a long trap. Let's see if this triggers and comes down, then I think you're right, we're coming down. But while I've got conflicting patterns, I just can't get in. Having said that, 1 minute it looks bullish, next minute it looks bearish, but I know it's congested to shit this. So I'm just staying out of everything at the moment. Possible higher low there. And there's going to be a bunch of stops there. So if it does push up, it'll do it quickly, I think. So there is a higher low there. It is a doji. Let's see if it triggers. There's going to be shorts in here, surely, isn't there? Short stops. Maybe that one. Thinking we're going to do another leg, and I think this is going to take them all out. Well, we got one last time to trap the short. See, this thing's going up. I expect to do this. If that triggers, I think it'll push up. There's going to be shorts there, shorts there, shorts there. This, for me, is a failed second entry short, and it's going to push up. I might be completely wrong. But this just... I don't know. I think this is going to go. But at the moment, we are coming down, so I can't go against the grain, as tempted as it is. I'm not saying it's not coming down, but it's when I've got conflicting patterns, it's enough to keep me out of it. So there's a second entry short there, which is triggered. There's a lower high there. There's a failure there. So if we get below there, I'd say we're coming down. Here we have. It's just, it unnerves me when we got conflicting patterns. We've had two legs down, right to the tick, one leg up sideways, I think pushing up. So that's why I don't want to get into a short here, because you might get 2 points out of it, but you just never know. And while I got two conflicting patterns, I think the safest protocol for me personally is just to sit tight and stay out of it all. First time it touched the EMA. See, on the daily is kind of looking bearish at the moment, so who knows? Okay, so the first trade you probably take will be the lower high or maybe the failure. So let's put it there. So you'd have got 2 3/4 points from that one, from the failure. You'd have got a couple of points as well. Second entry short. Just seems like an awful lot of shorts there. Maybe thinking about the lower, you wouldn't have got 2 from there. This is going up, I think. I've never seen the ES one come down, one go up. This is, I would consider sideways, and this Although this has got a bullish feel to it, this has got a slightly bearish feel, but it is testing that line there, which is telling me it's more likely to bounce. You could call that a triple test. I'm just not getting into it at the moment because I got mixed patterns. Certainly trying to come down this. If we trigger that push up, we're going up. We have triggered it. Let's see what happens here. If we push down and close below the EMA, then I think this may come down, but I don't know. I still think it's going up. There's going to be shorts trapped there. There's going to be a few stops above this area here. Okay, so this is going to push, I think. Let's have a look. Changed my mind a lot, didn't I? The conflicting patterns is enough. This looks like it's coming down, but this looks like it's going up. So while I got mixed thoughts about it, I'm just staying out. So if you took that second entry short, your stop would still be intact. That one would, and the lower high would, but I don't think it's going to last long. Okay, here goes the one stop. And I think it'll push through the rest. Impact news in 12 minutes. Good point, mate. I tell you what, you know, I see this. I know it's right in front of me, but I still forget it's there. Hey up, look. Oh, that's looking bearish now. That's looking bearish. This is looking bullish. Yeah, if this breaks below here, we're coming down. I think you're right. This might just be a couple of legs back. Slowing down for the news. Yeah, you might be right, mate. You're laughing at me, mate. I'm like a bleeding woman, aren't I? Changing my mind every 5 minutes. I haven't offended any women. Do you know only 1% of traders that I can make out a female? It's very small, isn't it, really? I think women probably make better traders because guys can be a bit too aggressive, can't we? But I think women probably make better traders. I know we've got one that sort of is in and out. I talk to her now and again. Karina. So we got this looks down now, this looks up. So we got conflicting patterns. At the end of the day, they're both sideways, aren't they? So, but yeah, news is coming up. So, yeah, it's definitely a bit sideways, isn't it? This is at the bottom. Okay, this is dropped. Okay, that's pulling back strongly. This is going to go up. So where would your stops be? There and there. So that one's gone. That one's gone. I'm glad I stayed out of this, really. The place I would have taken one is a second entry there, but with what I was seeing, mixed feelings telling me it looks like it's going up. I'm thinking along the right lines. So that's all I want to do. So you'd have just got, I don't know, it's hard to say whether you'd have got 2 out of that or not. I'd have probably just taken a point or 6 ticks, but it's just, I don't know, it's, what I was seeing there is telling me it's going sideways and possibly up. And it's exactly what it's done, gone sideways and up. So it did what I thought it would do, just a little slower. So I'm kind of glad. And when you look at it like that, really, going short into this area isn't probably the best idea, is it? So that's why I kind of sort of have these predictions. Because if I say what I think's going on and it happens or it works, in this case it's done, it just tells me I'm in sync with the market. I'm understanding what's going on. And I suppose you just get more confident then, don't you, with understanding how this is working. So this is looking choppy, isn't it? Leg and a leg. So we obviously got the news coming up. How long we got? 8 minutes. So let's put that there. Probably still forget it. So I'm glad I stayed out of that. Okay. Certainly chickened out of that, didn't I? Look. God, if we only knew what the markets were going to do. Do you know, I used to have this little dream or this little daydream that I got an email which showed me a picture of tomorrow's chart. So I knew exactly what was going to happen. I don't know if anybody's had that little daydream. They imagine it's just like it's a little daydream. That I got an email the night before which shows me tomorrow's chart. And I sort of work out in my head what I could make. So am I the only person that does that? Probably a bit sad, but I hope there's more of you. Otherwise, I'm going to look like I'm a right loony. Can you share it? I think I've shared enough, mate, to be honest with you. I've already put my foot in my mouth. I work out sort of if we had 20 points down and I started with $1,000, I could trade 2 contracts. That would give me X amount of money. So I work out what I could make in a trading day. I doubt it'll ever happen. Well, sure it won't. But I spoke about this before. There used to be a program on TV in the 90s. I forget what it was called now. Someone will know it. There used to be, there was a sort of a knock or a scratch at this guy's door, and he used to open his apartment, and there was a cat there with a paper, and it was tomorrow's paper, so he had the chance to go out and sort of save people from getting run down or earthquakes or whatever it was. It'd be nice for him to make a program about, he drops a chart off or something, so he knows what's going to happen in the markets. I forget what it was called. Someone will know it. Okay, so yeah, this looked bearish to be fair, but this was giving me a conflicting patterns. So I can't tell you how many times this helps me stay out of trades. We do look like but it almost looks like there's another channel working down there. Something like that. Did he trade? No, he didn't trade. I forget what it was called now. Back testing in a week. Whenever I close my eyes in the shower and stuff, I would see chart patterns popping out. Yeah, I've done that before. I've had dreams of seeing charts in my sleep. I have, yeah. The thing is with trading, if you're like me, I think people who stick at trading are pretty much like me. They have that little obsession, but I think to learn to trade and to learn to do it in a reasonable amount of time, I think it does take a little bit of obsession. You can't do this part-time, half an hour a day, can you? Or, an hour every other few days. It'll take you forever. It'll take you years and years. I would say with study time and trading time, I probably put an average of 4 to 5 hours in a day, I would say. Maybe not so much now. I probably trade for 2 or 3 hours. And usually in the evenings, I probably spend half an hour, 45 minutes going through my chart, looking at max. But probably an average of 3.5 hours every day. But there was a time where I was working, up and from about 7:30 in the morning till about 4:30. I'd come home, I'd have my dinner, and I'd trade. Obviously, we can trade up to sort of 9:30 in the evening in the UK. And I'd sort of spend 4 hours trading, and I did that for a year or so. So you've got to really be a little bit of obsessive, and you've got to put a lot of time into it, because it does take that long to learn. Where's that news? Where are we? Okay, we're a minute away from the news, so that's the type of trade I would expect to go up, but obviously the news is pending. Any second now, I think. I never did any back testing with futures. I did back testing with currency. There is a kind of a nice failure there on the NQ. This looks like it's pushing up now. This also does. Where's this news? Is it on yet? Not quite. Now, there we go. Okay, a leg and a leg. That looked like it was going to push up, and that did. Whether it makes much difference with the news or not. Come back and bounced a couple of times at the top of this range, depending on how you've got it drawn. Technically a second entry long, that is. It's a bit too far away from the EMA for me. And as we've pushed up, we could come back and retest this. So I'm staying out of that. There's the first entry. Second entry long. It's a little bit congested. It's too far from the EMA. It's going to get stopped out for sure. Leg, maybe 2 legs back, and then a continuation. Let's have a look. Possible second entry long, depending on how this finishes. Maybe the same here. Leg. I don't like that. That's looking kind of nice. Second entry long, which is triggered. Leg in a leg. Okay, that looks like it's pushing up. Unfortunately, there's just nothing there for us to take, really, unfortunately. It was 2 nice looking legs. It came down, touched this and turned. Is there anything I was hoping for a higher low here, but a little bit further down. I like the way we've had 2 legs up, we've had 2 legs down, we've bounced off this there and we've pushed up again, so I like that. 2 legs down. It's kind of a nice trade, that was. Leg, maybe a high low. Slight possibility. But it's only slight. Touch. If we continue down here, then that might be right. But I try and avoid these bigger channels now because they tend to affect your bias. But what I am going to do is just put that there, so there is a possibility of some support there. See, we got a leg, and a higher low. Trouble is, it's a bit congested, this, so it's hard to say whether that's going to push up. And there is possibly some support there, so going long into that might not be the best. Leg. 2 legs back, a push up and a drop. Possible hidden second entry long. Not thinking about going long at the moment anyway. Not a massive fan of that, so that might not be right. We'll see. Okay, possibility of another leg down. Daily's starting to look bearish. We've come off this once, come off this twice. It does look like there is a chance we could get some down stuff, so we could get a decent push down, possibly. Yeah, that may turn into a channel, actually. It's possible. Didn't look right on this. Get down here, then maybe. Touch, 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 and a quick touch. Okay, 2 legs up. Second entry short from this area would be nice. We've certainly oh no, we haven't broke the lows of the day just yet, or have we? No, of course we haven't. We're a million miles away. Let's just okay. It's all right. If we were going to get 2 legs up, I was thinking about going short. We're at the bottom here lightly, and definitely at the bottom there, so we may push up to the top or even higher. So thinking about going short here, if you get a second entry short, might not be the best option. Can enjoy the stream risk-free now. Good luck, everyone. Cheers, buddy. Risk-free, that's what you want on a Friday. Yeah, see, this looks like it may be setting up a second entry short, but I just don't like the fact that we've had so many touches there. Okay, let's see what happens here. We're certainly bearish at the moment, I'd say, it's safe to say. But you've got to be careful because we haven't quite come to the top here, and we haven't quite come to the top on here either. Looks like a range, so it could continue on higher. Excuse me a sec. Sorry about that. Well done, Speed. I didn't notice, mate. 5 points up. That's what you want, mate. That's what you want. Good day's work, that is. That's good 2 days' work, that is. Good on you, mate. Always like to finish green. To be fair, since I started these, I've had one loss, so it's not been bad actually. So I'm firing around about. So as we trade this thing. 88% at the moment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 trades, 9 trades, and 1 loss. 9 wins and 1 loss. Okay, possible second entry short. I'm nervous. That to me looks like push up side was push up. It might not, but it's congested there. Let's see how it finishes. Leg down. Ordinarily, it wouldn't be a bad place to go short there. Let's just get an order ready.
Order submitted.
That looks like it may. If that finishes below here. No, it's not.
Order cancelled.
We got a leg down. 2 attempts to go higher. Failure. Push down. See what happens. So leg, a little bit of sideways and a leg. Interesting. You get 2 legs here and then a move down. I wouldn't mind taking a lower high below there if it does come down. Be interesting to see what happens if it touches this line. Still a bit to go there for that leg if it does. And that may take us to. It'd be interesting to see how it reacts. Lower high on here, lower high on here. That would give me a short. Leg down. 2 attempts to go higher. Leg down. 2 attempts to go higher. Leg down. So leg up. Break. 2 attempts to go higher. Leg down. Break. 2 attempts to go higher. Looks like a leg and a leg. Let's see if this comes bearish below there. Excuse me, I'll be looking for a lower high. I never just take that first one. It may work. Looks okay on here, a leg and a leg, but I never take the first one. I've learnt the hard way. Looks like a leg and a bearish bar around this line on the NQ, and the same here. I never trust that first hit. I always wait for the lower high. That way you rule out getting caught out. It may work, it may not, but as that's ticked below and pushing straight up, I'll be crapping it now. You know, it's just got risk written all over that. I'll be amazed if it doesn't get stopped out. Oh, it's got a bit to go yet. There we go. So there will be traders who will take that. They'll have. That's why I tend to forget the bigger channels. I'll put that there, not to know where to go short, to know where not to go long. You know, if I'm thinking we've bounced here and we're pushing up, and there's a long trade which takes us into this line, I tend to not go long there. I don't look upon it as an area, you know, to go short, to keep me out of a trade rather than to get in a trade. I've just given up that first tick. I always wait for it to get the lower R. I've just learned over the last few years that it's much better. You just get a better win rate. See, it's holding it there 3 times there, so it does look like a better leg there. We hadn't quite met a full leg there regarding what this bit's done. That we more or less have, so we may still just turn and come down. Okay, we've about hit a measured leg there now, right on the nail. And I'd say the same there. So it looks like it's holding. Let's see if it does. That's why I didn't draw the channel, because I tell you something now, there will be some traders who've taken that link in there. You know, I get why people do it. 1, 2, 3, 4 touches. They'll go short there. I'll tell you that now. Wow, Bitcoin's taking a proper dump. It's below 41,000 now. Well, it went up to just below 49. Wow. Still not going short. There is a lower high there. I don't like this. I don't like it. I like the way it's triggered above there and pushed down, but I'm just not a massive fan of it for some reason. This is a bit unclear. This is what it's doing. So this lower high for me, I think, is risky. Don't ask me why. I just don't like it. Down, up, it's a bit choppy. Yeah, I've mentioned this before. When you take trades again and again and again, when you, I'm literally, we're both glued. We're all, both of us, we're all glued to this chart, and we're looking at this picture. So you get this picture wedged in your brain, and if it goes wrong, it sticks in your head. And when you've taken enough trades that go wrong and they stick in your head, you just get a bad feeling. I mean, look at that. It's a perfect lower high. Trigger just stopped you out. I've just seen this image before, and it doesn't fill me full of, it just fills me full of dread. And I just sort of, I think you do get a bit of a gut feeling and a sixth sense. Let's get rid of that. But it was a lower high, and I tell you, there'll be traders who've taken that. Same again, trigger gen, and I've done it myself, but you just get a feeling now that something just doesn't look right. I don't like. It's still sideways and it's choppy, and when it's like that, weak positions just get hammered. They really do. And although that pushed, came back up and dropped, trust that gut. It's true, but isn't it? So, you know, we're sat here day after day looking at this picture, and when it goes wrong and you lose a trade, that picture gets embedded in your brain, doesn't it? Exactly. That picture did not look nice to me. Although I could see there was a setup there, the context didn't look right. I can't exactly put my finger on it. It may have come, we may have had a leg, couple of pushes up, it may have come down, but when you've lost trades like that before, you get little pictures in your head and you sort of sway towards, yes, I like this, or no, I don't. It doesn't feel right. But yeah, you do get that. It's very much an intuition thing that you build up, isn't it? Over time of trading. And it's nice when you get it. And the more you trust it, the more it works. I would say probably 2 out of 3 times where I stay out of a trade because it looks like a trap. It's usually a trap, which I think, you know, it's enough at times to trust that feeling. Because when you're sort of relatively new, you're just itching. You're itching to pull the trigger, aren't you? But after a while, you just realise, hold back, hold back. I spoke to a guy about, I don't know, maybe a year and a half ago. And he's into his photography. And he was in the States somewhere, he used to take a picture of a heron that used to sit on this branch. And he'd photograph this heron, and this heron would sit there and look and look and look and look. And then at the exact point, or just at the right time, he'd take a dive, come out with a great big fish, and he'd sit there and eat his fish. And in the end, he sort of put it down to that sort of sniper, sits there for that perfect shot. You don't want someone, if you're going to shoot, well, I don't know this, but if you're going to pick someone off as a sniper, you're not going to do it when they're running around, are you? You're going to wait till they're sitting nice and calm and they don't expect it. And then you're going to pull the trigger. So what he did, he printed a picture of a heron out and put it next to his computer, and whenever he felt like he was jumping into trades, he'd just look over its picture. And it reminded him, you know, to sit there and stalk your prey and wait for that sort of perfect shot. But this picture really isn't very clear, is it? It's down, it's up, it's down. It is ranging a bit. We're making lower lows, so you can't put your finger on it sometime. But as I mentioned the other day, it's like going to a place you've driven through a town or a city 5 years ago, and then you go through again today, and just something seems familiar. You wouldn't think just driving through a place once, but I've done it myself. You know, 5 years ago. Something would ring a bell, but it's surprising how that brain works. It fills up with all sorts of useless stuff and a lot of crap as well. But I don't get trapped nowhere near as much as I used to. So actually, that's keep a 50 cal bullet on my that's that reason. See, you guys are lucky in a way. I'm a lad. I like, I did a little bit of time in the reserves, a couple of years in the reserves. What's not to like? I get people who don't like them. I know my wife doesn't, but guys, we love stuff that goes bang, don't we? We love new tools, anything metal and clanky. We love it. But very strict gun rules over here. I used to go and shoot a shotgun. There was a retired colonel who used to do a shoot once a month, about 10 miles from where I used to live. We used to go up there, fire off 50 cartridges, and then go out on the beer. But yeah, you guys can just get anything, can't you? You just don't see weapons over here. You'll never see a pistol in the UK. Never, ever, ever. You'll see the odd shotgun, air rifles. That's it. That's all you'll see. You just can't have anything. I think our rules changed when, I don't know, they had some big shooting. I forget where it was now. Maybe about 15 years ago, and rules just changed. But there's so many of you guys. You just, what is there? There's 3/4 of the population at least. Are into it. And I get the fascination when I do. But you just don't see stuff over here. Bigger channel up. There may be, mate. There may be. Yeah, it's possible. Yeah. Possible. I'm not so sure, though. I'm starting to think maybe this is just doing some sideways stuff. Yeah, that's what I'd put if I happen to take a guess. Thing is, when it's like this, what I notice is you just get lots of little traps that just snare you for a tick or two and then stitch you up. I'd love to know a little bit more about how these markets work, how they're designed. The trouble is with us, we're all traders off our own back. If you work for a big bank or something, they have obviously all the information, don't they? They know exactly how things work. But I may do a little bit of research. It'd be nice to know how things do work. Yeah, this just to me looks like it's ranging at the moment. Down, up, down, up. Kind of wish I'd held on to that. It was a failure. It had trapped some longs. It's just a little bit too far away from the EMA for my comfort zone, although I assumed it would come down to here. But we came down and ticked below that bullish bar because I thought there's going to be traders who are thinking that's still in there. So 2 legs back and a push up. When it triggered below there, it didn't really do anything. In fact, it came back. So when it dropped a bit more, I just got out for a couple of ticks. I don't know. I hate pre-market stuff. I'm stopping trading it. Nothing worse than getting into a trade and it hardly moves. You just start to think the worst. Okay, so we've got a push up, 2 attempts to go lower. At the moment, say, do you want to go into that? I'm not saying it is. It's maybe a bit of a penguin style trade. We got a leg up, 1 attempt to go lower, 2nd attempt to go lower, failure push up. Trouble is, we're making lower highs, so it doesn't make sense going along, does it? Okay, I'm going to... It's doing my head at the moment. It's just slow like this. It may push up. Leg up, 2 attempts to go lower. That does look like the type of trade that work if it's bullish, but I'm staying out of it at the moment because we are making lower highs. So if we do push up, I think if I expected it to get higher than these, I think I'd be hoping a bit, wouldn't I? So I'm staying out of it at the moment. It might work, but I don't like mites. I'm just going to take a quick 5-minute break while it's doing this sideways stuff. And I'll leave you with it. Quick cup of tea. we go. Okay. I'll leave you to it. I'll be about 3 to 5 minutes. Okay. Thought I'd hit the cappuccino instead. Okay, I haven't really missed much. Let's have a look. So we got a leg up, 2 attempts to go lower, higher low. That might not have been a bad trade, or even the failure. Let's have a look. So we got a channel up there, we got a break, 2 attempts to go lower, and a push up, and a higher low. I'd have taken that one. And I'd have held for 2 points. So let's have a look. So, yeah, I'd have been out there. Especially when you get that would have given me more confidence. And there was the failure. Leg up, 2 attempts, yeah. You'd expect that to get certainly up to around about there, wouldn't you? So leg up, 2 attempts to go lower as that pushed away. Yeah. So we're clearly just ranging at the moment. No argument there. And we got leg down break. 2 pushes down to a new low. Retest to the lows. 2 legs up. 2 legs break. Down the bottom. Yeah, we just seem to be ranging at the moment. I not what good lower high. Because there is resistance above the room. Good scalper risk. You're a new face, aren't you? Adnan, is that how you say it? Adnan? Where are you from, buddy? I not something. I think that's that, isn't it? I not that good lower high. Because there is resistance above. No room for a good scalp. Not 100% sure what you mean there, bud. Lower high. I was talking about that higher low. Were you talking about something different? I'm not sure. You might have to reiterate there, buddy. Yeah, it's clearly just ranging at the moment. So let's have a look. What's the daily doing? The high low. Yeah, okay. Yeah, see, leg up there. We got a nice channel. We got a break. 2 attempts to go lower, sort of like a correction. And I'd expect to push up maybe for another leg. Look above. There is 3 tops. Yeah, I'd be okay going into that. I don't mind that because to me, I think it's likely to get into here. And I like the setup, 2 legs back and a higher low. So 2 points. I'd get in on top of that. So as that triggered above, I'd be out around about there for 2 points. I don't mind that. I'd expect a new high after this anyway, especially with 2 legs back. So I don't mind it. 2 legs back and a higher low. I'd go for that one. I get a feeling about something. And after we've come down from the bottoms, I'd expect to at least get to this level here. So 2 points from there. I'd have been out comfortably before that. Are you from Morocco? Okay, I got you. I got you. I think we had someone else from Morocco. 7 or 8 months back. I forget his name now. Who was it? I can't remember now. We did have someone from Morocco. So yeah, leg up. 2 legs of correction. Another leg up. Let's put that about there, something like that. Yeah, so there's probably going to be a few shorts there. So yeah, we've ticked above that there, so I'd expect that measured move to get hit, depending on where you draw it from. One more tick. boom, there we go. Yeah, I'd expect to get up to that, I would. I'd expect to break this high. And there's two little legs in there, so there may be a few shorts there, maybe. It's hard to say, but yeah, I haven't got a problem for that one. It'd do what I expected it to do. When we have a leg up and two legs of correction, that's usually what I look for. I never take this first bar. I always wait for the higher low. They're usually really accurate, I find them, when we get a channel up, two legs of correction, and they were really nice legs as well. Two legs of correction. I always wait for the higher low. So let's have a look. Let me just get rid of this. So that's played out perfectly to the nearest tick. Let's put that there. Let's close him down a fraction, and that one. Yeah, two perfect legs down. Double bottom, it touched that. Then I'd expect a leg up and another leg up. You use a runner like split? No, I don't. I just go for two contracts. I'm not a fan of runners because I only trade two contracts. Normally, if I was gonna use a runner, I would probably do it on 4 contracts. So I would probably scalp 3, and then use one as a runner. But you know, in a market like this where it's, what is it, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Yeah, I just like the two contracts, 2 points. That's what I tend to do. But I like that kind of trade. We've got a nice channel up, 2 beautiful legs of correction, and I expect another measured move, and we did right to the nearest tick. So plenty of room from there to there. But obviously I was out taking a break. Unfortunately, what was the risk there? So I would go from the top there. I would so it's about 3.25 points. I would take that at the close on a limit order. So yeah, about 3.25 points. Use a runner like split contracts. Tell me why. Yeah. To be honest with you, if I'm using a runner, I would do it on 4 contracts only, and I would scalp 25% of it. I would use as a runner. But because it's so choppy here, I just rather get out, because if I took 2 points from there, if I went for 2 points, so I put it there, there were 2 points, I'd probably have my runner up here. It would come up and come out and take me runner, so I'd lose that contract. So it depends. If we were in a nice channel, we had a couple of legs down to the bottom of a channel, I was expecting a decent move, then, you know, then if I was using a runner, then I may hold on. But for something like that, just to the top, I don't think I'd bother with one. But I've had quite a good run since I got those. I've lost 1 trade since, well, this is the 2nd week. I think I started on the Tuesday. So I've done basically 2 weeks with just 1 loss, so that's all right. That's working out all right, that. So, see, I'm looking on the daily there. We came down, now we're pushing back up. I would still expect that to come down lower than there before the end of the day. In which case, I would probably be looking to take shorts, I think, from here. There is a lower high there, but EMA's facing up. So I'm not really interested in that. Possible second entry long. There is a chance there is a channel up there. But for me, channel is secondary. It's nice, actually. The channel's secondary to the range. Because I normally didn't like the risk reward without a runner. Yeah. I mean, usually at the moment, ATR is relatively high today, so a risk would be around about 3 points. My risk would be somewhere around about there, maybe just a fraction under. And I will go for generally 2 points. 2 points profit. And at the moment, I'm trading around about 88% win rate at the moment. So I tend to get 2 points to risk no more than 3. Usually, most of the time, it's around about 2.5, 2.75 points. At the moment, I think I'm on an 80-something% win rate at the moment. Yeah, that's my, what's it? 88%. Yeah, 88% win rate at the moment. I've only had, that's actually one loss. Bearing in mind there's 2 accounts here. So it's just 1 loss per account. So risking sort of up to 3 points for 2, over 85%. Is all right for me. I'm okay with that. Okay, there is a second entry long and a higher low there, but I'm not going long into this because it could trigger that and come down. So I'm just going to sit tight because we've been up here before. Once here and here again. So let's see. Struggle with 65%. Not good profit. Yes, I suppose it depends how many points you go for. If you go for 1-to-1, 65%, you're going to make money, aren't you? But I'm quite picky at the moment. I tend to average about 1 trade a day. Yeah, I do average about 1 trade a day. Okay, that is going up. So the higher low wasn't bad, but in all fairness, okay, so I'm guessing there were some stops there. I didn't want to go long into that. We've been up here twice. There's clearly some support along there, some resistance along there, so I didn't really want to go long there. If I'm going to go long, I'd rather it wait to break above this and then retest the top and start working up. Yes, it is a second entry long, high low there, but there's no real setup there, unfortunately. That's just a first entry. So there would have nothing for me to go long there anywhere. I only trade the ES. I just tend to use this just to see what, you know, what the general market's doing. If the NQ's looking bullish and I'm looking for a long trade on there, it just helps just to keep me in the right direction. Okay, possibly lower high there, trapping that long. I'm just not a fan of picking tops, although it looks like a leg up there, 2 legs of correction and another leg. I just hate picking tops. Let's try that from there. See, we may be going up. There may be some long trades there, but after this and then pulling back in the range, I ain't going long there. It's too risky for me, I think that. Looks like it's sucking longs into me. Come on, follow me, follow me, follow me, and then down. Now that's interesting. Possibly a second entry long. Do I want to go long into there again? I'm hoping it comes down and takes out below that bar there, because seeing this go up like that, I'd say there's probably going to be people going long above there. Traders going long above there. And it's triggered it. And then come down. I'd say it's likely to break below there. If it doesn't and holds long, no, there we go. So leg. See if we get something there. Yeah, I tend to avoid these. I tend to avoid picking tops. Another reason is, yeah, we've been up here before, but we're also making slightly higher highs, so I think this could break out. So you never quite know how far that's going to come back in there. There are traders who will take them or jump all over them. I tend to avoid them. It's not one of my strong points, that. So if you do a tick above and tick below, it's about 3.5 point risk. I just don't like picking those, especially after we've had a leg up, 2 legs of correction and another leg. I just have this feeling that we may get out of this range. Okay, there's a hidden second entry long there, touching this, but same again. Do I really want to go long into there? If not, I will take a short second. Yeah. Yeah, lower high below here maybe, but I just tend to not bother picking tops and bottoms because I'm just crap at them, to be fair. It's not one of my strong points. So we've broken out of it, we've come back and retested, we've closed above it. If we can get a higher low here, then I may be interested in that, because we've come out, we've come back in, and we've pushed out again. There's a nice hidden second entry long on the NQ, and that's worked nice. So it is indicating to me that there is a chance. I mean, we've had this channel, we've had a break, we've had a few pushes down to a new low, we've come up a couple of times, we've come down. And we've come up to the top. We do seem to be sort of doing this, don't we? So I think there is a chance that we are going to push up, maybe up to the highs of the day. So maybe if we can get a bearish bar here and trap some shorts and then push up. We got a touch and a touch and a touch. I don't think that looks that bad. second entry long there, but it's a doji and an AF bar. It's completely neutral. EMA is a bit flat. If we can get a higher low here, just got to be a bit careful. Because we're back up to almost back up to the top of this chart again. So I don't know. Is it likely to go higher? It could do. It could also just drop quickly. I mean, that chart looks actually a little better on the NQ, doesn't it? Touch. It's had multiple touches. That we had a hidden second entry long, and that worked a treat. Trouble is, we've pushed up, and we've only gone to the midline, which tells me we could get a break of this channel. I think we're going to come out of this channel, break below here. We've come off the tops, we've come back, we've come off the tops, we've come back. This next push up, we've only gone to here, haven't we? Mind you, we did there, and then we still pushed up higher. Yeah, I think we're going to get a break down to this sort of level. Yeah, possibly. See, it depends how you incorporate. I open this up because I like the way it's touching there and there, but if you bring that in, and obviously maybe shove that a bit forward, you may say it's an overshoot. You know, I've noticed overshoots, sometimes it'll just drop. Other times it'll come back, push up, make a new high, and then drop. Sometimes we'll just get the same amount of breakout here and it'll continue on higher. But I'm always careful about going long if we have a break on an uptrend, an overshoot on an uptrend. So this is pushed up nice and strong. It sort of stalled around here, didn't it? Which is why I thought we may get a break. But that's continuing on and up quite nicely. So it's hard to know whether to run it along there or to open it up and put it to there. But if you put it to there, it actually fits beautifully there. So it just may be how that, sometimes channels look a bit odd, don't they? Sometimes they fit beautifully. Channel like that looks perfect. It's hugging in all the right places, nice and tight, clear break. But this is not the best looking channel. There's a push up and a bit of sideways, and it. PA is weird today. Yeah, it is a bit weird. Seems like Friday. So I will blast off. Yeah, you take it easy, Robin. Have a good weekend, mate. Yeah, weekend. It was a short week, wasn't it? Because of Monday. Short week. Can't believe how quick January is going. I even noticed in the mornings we're starting to get brighter mornings, brighter nights. We've had -6 the last couple of mornings in the UK where I am. Yeah, if I'm not 100% comfortable with my channel, I'm careful about taking trades. If I can't get it to fit and I don't like it, I tend to leave it and just let it continue on. I think it's always best if you're not sure about something, just leave it. Sometimes the market, sometimes it's so predictable, you can just work out where it's going to go. You know, these legs work out perfect. Other days, there's just no rhyme or reason. And I've chatted with Mac about it in an email, and he said, markets are almost like they've got multiple personalities. One day it's like you've been out with someone that you've known for years and you just know them inside and out. And then other days it's like you're out with a complete stranger. It's coming out with stuff that you just don't get. But I've always tried to figure out what the market's doing, but only recently have I realised sometimes you can't. It is true when it goes sideways and it's congested. The measly amount of money we put into these markets, we don't move these markets. Obviously, the institutions do. But, if the market's, sort of going in a sort of a tight range for 3/4 of an hour, even the guys with big pockets don't really know what's going on. It's just congested. It's going up and down. So I've just given up trying to work out what's going on and just realising it's congested. Just forget it. Leave it alone. So many times with congestions, I still try and look for trades and I ended up just getting chopped up. So I've just come to the conclusion when it's going sideways, forget trying to work out what it's doing. Just leave it alone until it sort of breaks and then carries on its merry way. But for a long time, I tried to take trades when we were chopping backwards and forwards, and I just end up getting flipping slaughtered. So I don't even bother trying to work out what's going on now. I just ignore it and let it go. And I think trading is about just tying up loose ends, isn't it? Where your weaknesses are. My weaknesses was picking tops and bottoms, so the safest bet for me is just to forget them. Another weakness of mine was trading in ranges. Tighter ranges, I tend to just leave them now, and it's improved my sort of win rate. Another reason, doing less trades. I think one trade a day is perfect. If people think they ain't going to make any money taking one good trade a day, they couldn't have been further from the truth. You can make an absolute ton of money just by taking one trade a day, and trading for 3 or 4 hours. You'd always find a trade. You'd always find one decent trade. That is the one I'd have taken today. We've got a nice channel up, perfect 2 legs of correction, nice strong push up through the EMA. We came back, pushed up high-low. That to me was a good trade. I'd have 100% taken that, and I'd have got me 2 points, and I'd have been done. But yeah, so it is about tying up loose ends, fine-tuning your trading. And once you start, trying to trim all the edges to get it running nice and smoothly, things just keep getting better and better. And I'm more confident in my trading skills now than I've ever been, purely and simply because, as you come on and you grow, you get more and more right. And not only that, you identify areas that are traps. And when you do that again and again, it's just you have that little bit of confidence. Because there's so much failing when it comes to trading. You fail so many times. It's really hard to believe you're ever going to get it right. And you have a win or two one day and your confidence is really high. And then the following day you have a loss or two and then your confidence is down in the gutter. And I think that's why people take gambles and risks. Because they don't think they've got the skills to be able to get up there and build it themselves. Because there is so much failure. I mean, I've blown 350 evaluations. Any other type of job you do, I don't know, I used to be a bricklayer. It doesn't take you 350 attempts to be able to build a wall. It's a lot quicker than that, and most jobs you pick up a lot quicker. Whereas with trading, it's by far the hardest thing I've ever had to learn. It is, isn't it? I think some of the reasons when I got a new PA, I'd double up on my contracts and try and get a bit lucky and give myself a bit of a head start because I really just didn't believe I was good enough to get up there by myself. And I think after a bit of time, when you start to get better at trading, as your confidence builds, I think that doesn't affect your, the psychological side as much, because then you start to get that bit of belief. And it's like that, remember that? You guys that have seen this before, I saw this a couple of years ago, this little diagram, and it's on Sam's website. Where is it? It's a diagram about learning to trade, or I'll tell you what it's called. Where's his website? Let me go. He won't mind me using this. Where is it? Unless he's hid it from me. Trading psychology, is it around it? Yeah, here we go. Okay, this is Sam's page. You won't mind me using this. This here. I think this is a brilliant diagram. This is about learning to trade. You start trading, you get a few wins. You know, we get a nice uptrend, you take a few trades like I did, and you think this is a doddle, and after a month, you give up your job. And euphoria, and then all of a sudden, reality sets in, and you fall right on your arse. Loss. And then you sort of pivot in, drift in. That's where the real journey is, and that's where it gets tough. You win a bit, you lose a bit, you win a bit, you lose a bit. One day you're up, next day you're down. And then you start to ask yourself, when you get that sick of losing and failing, do I give up or do I carry on? When do I give up and carry on? I think you hit that emotional wall where you start to ask yourself a question. I'm that sick of losing. I feel horrible. It's a horrible feeling. I don't want to feel like that anymore. And you question whether I should give up or not. And I think something changes then. And then you decide to stop fighting the markets and stop battling and stop taking silly risks, and you just sit here and then you get to this point where it starts to work, and then you get that, okay, I'm starting to make money. Let's not get too ahead of myself. And then you break even. And then things start to get better and better. You know, optimization, maturity, and success. You start to get that belief, and that's when you start to grow. But it's that journey that literally almost takes you to breaking point. You know, I've been with my wife now for 30 years, and she's seen me cry 3 times. Once when my daughter was born, once a year ago, a little bit when my mum passed away, and about 3 or 4 months ago, when I lost my 4 accounts, I had about $9,000 or $10,000 in my 4 accounts, and it broke. I felt like it broke me. I felt absolute shit. I felt horrible, and it brought tears to my eyes. And I think you've got to take that journey, haven't you, to complete failure. It's almost like when you join the military. They push you and push you and push you. They break you down to breaking point, and then they start to build you back up, and they bring you together a team. And it's that type of, it's like that. It's that journey, isn't it, that you've got to go through. And it's all about adapting that mindset, because that mindset we're not born with. You know, we're sort of brought up to be sort of, we want things. It's my money, I want it. Don't take away my TV. This is mine. You know, we have our things and we don't want to lose them. And if someone takes it away, we can't deal with it. And what happens if someone walks in your house and grabs your TV, straight away you're going to be up, aren't you? On your feet, you're going to have your heckles up. And it's the same what happens when you lose a trade. We can't sort of comprehend the fact that I've got to give something away that I've made, and it's very hard. But, you know, there's such a high failure rate, and I don't believe it's because people can't trade. I believe it's because people don't stay long enough to be able to get past that stage. And I've said it multiple times on here before. Anything we do in life that inherently you have strong emotions with it, you can't deal with it. We're not used to it. I've said it many times. You jump out of a plane. That's not something you do every day. You can't deal with the emotions. You're going to be shaken. You're going to be scared. But you do it every day for 2 years or every week for 2 years, those emotions will not have the same effect, and you'll start to get used to them. And with the combination of your skill level building and you're getting used to your emotions, you'll hit a point where you'll start to get that belief. You'll start to follow the rules. And you'll start to see your account grow. And I've heard traders saying they hit that aha moment where they think, this is what I've had to do. And we know what to do. We know we've got to sit patiently and not revenge trade. But doing it is a completely different ballgame because of the emotional connection you can't avoid. But I believe absolutely every one of us, if we keep coming here every day and keep working and working, sooner or later, you can't do something every day in, day out, and not get better at it. It's impossible. And that's why it's got a high failure rate, because people just give up, they walk away, it's too hard. And I absolutely get why they do it. You know, I've put a ton of money into it, like most people have, but there's no other way. From a retail trader's point of view, you know, most of us haven't got the luxury of getting taken on by a bank where they pay us a wage and teach us to trade. It's even tougher for us because we don't have that support network. We've got to do all our psychology ourselves. We've got to read the books. We've got to, watch the YouTube videos and, put the hours in. So, I think we're more capable in some cases than people who get taken on and taught it properly. We're more resilient, I think. But it does take time. It's way more difficult than I ever imagined it was. Way more difficult. Second entry long appearing there. Most of the time I jump into that, but that's got trap written all over it, that has. It's too far from the EMA, too far from here. We got a leg back. I think we'd have another leg back. The NQ were right at the very top of the range. Big red candle there, looking like we're going to get a lower high. I'd have been itching to take that second entry long there, but now because I've seen this picture so many times, chances are it's going to come below there. It is ridiculous really how you jump into trades. I still do it from time to time. I get a little bit too trigger happy, but that's getting less and less. I have a little sticky note on my computer that says, taking a trade, think, slow down. Sometimes you think you've got to speed up there as quick as lightning, hit that buy button. It's surprising how a trade will trigger and hang around a bit. It'll give you enough time to make a good decision. Yeah, see, we're at the very, very top of this on the NQ, and there's a bearish bar there and a lower high, which is... it's triggered above that little bull bar there and come down, so I expect that to come down to at least a midline, in which case it never triggered that bar anyway, but I would definitely say price is going to come down below there. It never triggered, fortunately, but it was a second entry long, and a lot of people would see second entry long. We're clearly going up. Let's take that trade. And I love it now. I get a really nice sort of warm feeling when I see a trap or what I think's a trap and I leave it and it would have trapped me. It does give you a nice feeling. It does make you feel like you're actually finally starting to learn. And that's half the battle. Not getting into the trades, but staying out the bad ones. So there is another second entry long. It does seem to be working in that tier, but for me it's still risky because we could come right down to here, leg back, and I've seen this market, it does it so many times. It gives you little bars and it sucks you in and then just drops. So let's see if there's triggers above here. It actually doesn't look that bad on here. It's on the midline, but for me it's just too far towards the top to think about going long. I'd want it to come back here. I want yours continue live stream. We feel good. Someone talking, changing info now. I'm pleased I could help. It works for me. I think out aloud. I'm not one of these people that sit there quietly. I prefer to talk about it because I find I hear it clearer myself. I pick your guys' brains and you see me, so hopefully we help each other. Because it can be a lonely old business stuck in a room by yourself. And it is good to have a chat with other people. Someone told me always spend your time around people you want to be like. And you learn off other traders. They learn off you. And you all help each other. I'm here every day anyway, Monday to Friday. So So if you did take that, you got stopped out. I can't see how you would, but it is a second entry long. That one never triggered, but for me, it's just too risky going along there. I'd really want to come back here. I still don't like where that is. It could come back to this side. It might not. It might hold in this top tier, but this is all congested now. So if you don't use this, I hope me using this maybe gives you a bit of confidence that actually it's good to have two separate pictures. Sometimes this is a lot clearer than this, and it's very easy to misjudge what's going on. So it's definitely helped me. We do seem to be in that channel right from the get-go, don't we? So we've got a leg up, two legs back, another leg up. That looks like it's likely to be a measured move. So we could push out of that daily chart. Yeah. So yeah, we could get a fair bit higher. This looks like it might be turning into quite a nice channel now. I'm glad it's come up to there. So unfortunately, there was nothing for me there. If we can get back to here somehow. It's a bit sideways there, so I would much prefer to get back to this side. Yeah, see the daily, we're right back at the top, so we could. We've come off the bottom, haven't we? Pushed up. So we may get out the top here. So what's Morocco like this time of year? What's your temperature? I'm guessing it's pretty warm, is it? It's North Africa, isn't it? So I'm guessing it's relatively warm. -6 we had this morning in the UK. Well, where I am, it was probably a lot colder in other parts. Not warm, is it? Oh, is it not? At all. Oh, I got you. Okay, so you're just coming up 5:30. Mind you, not warm to you, and I bet it's not -6, is it? Okay, so leg down. I'd like to get down here. Okay, yeah, I'd like to see that measured leg. Get down here before I think about it, which basically is the bottom of this channel before I think about going long. Okay, leg and leg. So 1, 2, 3. Could be a triple test here. 1, 2, 3. Trouble is, while this is floating around between the midline and this, I'm not a fan of going long. Let's see if the EMA holds it. Ordinarily see 1, 2, triple test. Wouldn't be a bad place to go long. Let's see how this looks. It's cold for me. That's hit 10 and 15 degrees C. Yeah, that's like summer for us. No, we have had some warm weather. We hit all records last year, year before last. We had 42.5 degrees in the UK, which was beating our previous 38 degrees centigrade, and that was hot. I think 40 degrees is hot wherever you are in the world, but in the UK, we're just not used to temperatures like that. You know, I suppose a lot of you guys, a bit of volatility now, a lot of you guys will have air conditioning, I suppose, in the US as well. But you just don't have air conditioning in the UK. Shops and stuff maybe, yeah, but no houses will, unless, you know, they're big houses. But yeah, generally we don't have it. We get a fan. That's about as good as it gets. I think we may get a break here. Down to here. Leg and a leg. Let's have a look at that. If you have a break, this channel maybe take some setup long. Yeah, I don't see why not. We've come out of this range before. We've come back in and we've pushed strongly above it. So, yeah, leg back and a leg back. You'd probably expect to make a new break these highs. Trouble is, I am still aware of the daily that we're close to this top. We've been up here. It's hard to know whether that's just going to turn or whether it's going to push higher. But we are at a bit of a tipping point here. We're still in this channel, I think. Touch, multiple touches there. So we got a leg down. If we can get another leg down, that will take us down to the bottom. So we may hold there. And if we do hold there and push up, this will go with it, I think. This, I think, is going to come down lower. Leg and a leg. There may even be some traders bought that. This, for me, I think, is more likely to come lower. This is a bit sideways. So I'd expect this to come down a bit lower, maybe to the bottom of the channel, in which case that will come down below there. Do you know what? I'm hoping, I have a feeling, and I'm kind of hoping this, we're going to come down here, I've got no doubt about it. We've got a leg up, and that looks like a nice two-legged correction. So it will break below there, This is coming down, so it will take out that stop, I think. So I expect that to get down to the bottom. So we've got a nice channel up, 2 legs of correction. We may get another channel up, so we may get out of this. We may get above this range. So we got a leg and a leg. So let's get rid of that. That's not going to happen, I don't think. So we got a leg, and I think we may get another one. Leg, sort of pull back, break, a little bit of up and down, and then finally we got up there. So we pushed up. This looks like 2 legs of correction to me. I never take this first one. I always wait for the higher low. It just removes that chance of getting trapped. Okay, right down to that measured leg. Okay, so we got 2 legs of correction. Now let's see if this holds and pushes higher. I like the fact that where it's closing, that's closed, and that at the moment is still in that. I'm not saying it will push up, but I like the fact that it's closed there. Let's see if it manages to hold. Another reason I never take this one if we end up bullish. Interesting. You could micro adjust that so it fits. I've got no issues with that. Leg and a leg. Never take the long. Never take that first long. I always wait for the higher low. If you're going to get trapped, that's where it's going to happen. If it does push up for a higher low, they're the types of trades I like to take. Gives the trap chance to happen. And then if it comes down and gets you and you don't take it, you're all right. If it does go up into a high low, then you might get a trade out of it. That's how I tend to follow these now. See if it holds. So, second entry long possibly. I just ignore it. So, let's have a look at that. So, perfect measured leg. Right to the tick. Triggered. Let's see if it holds. Good up channel, no break. Interesting. So that is one tick off being about as bullish as you can get, or a couple of ticks, but it's still bullish. But the way it's triggered and that's coming down to me, that's why I never take that first one. It is 2 lovely legs down, so you can consider that a visual second entry long. But because I just never take that first one, I always wait for the higher low. But yeah, came down, stopped that out. There will be traders who've taken that one. See, thinking about it, look, touch, 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 all the way. 2 perfect legs down and a nice bullish bar. Triggers you, stops you out. I just learnt the hard way just to avoid them and wait for the higher low. It just rules out you getting trapped. Fortunately, there was no real bar there. If you'd have you wouldn't have get triggered if you'd have taken that one. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those days today. It's still not the best looking channel, that, in all fairness. And like I say, you could. It touches really nice there. You could look at that as an overshoot. Another reason not to go long. I believe that there was yeah, I've just put that there. Yeah. I mean, I've even seen trades. In fact, I watched the trade that Mac posted, one of Daniel's. I can't remember when it was, but there was an overshoot. We had 2 legs back and a higher low. If you take the higher low, you're okay. He took the higher low. When it broke above there, it rocketed up. So it just goes to show how many shorts will be taking that. So there's still a possibility it can go up. So, you know, sometimes you'll hear Max say, I'm not convinced it is an overshoot. In that case, how it's touching there, I believe it is. But sometimes we'll still get 2 legs back. If you'd have taken that one leg back, you'd have taken that one. Because of the overshoot, it triggered you, came down, stopped you out. But if you get 2 legs back here and then you get a nice higher low, I've seen it go up. And if you can find that one that Daniel took, because obviously in most, well, I say most, I don't know. Some traders will be thinking overshoot, okay, well, we're coming back, so let's look for a short here somewhere. So there is always a possibility, but from my experience, most of these breaks do tend to come down. Sometimes they'll make a new high first, or in that case, they'll try twice and then have a drop, which is why I always, whenever we come back there, I never, unless we've touched multiple times and we get perfect 2 legs with a really big bullish bar above the EMA, most of the time I'll wait for the higher low. And I found, you know, from experience, I lose less trades by waiting for that. Today was probably the worst day trade in my life. You blew my P8. Only blown 5 EV. I was trying to pass quickly. I can't tell you how many valuations I've failed, mate, trying to pass quickly. I feel your pain, brother, but mate, I think it's just all part of the journey. You do battle with the market. It's why I'm not a massive fan of the 1 day to pass. Having said that, I like the fact that if you do pass in 3 or 4 days, you know, I don't see the point in doing 1 micro a day because you're going to get your account anyway. So, you know, I think maybe they just forget the 1 day bit, but just say, this is the target you've got to hit, and let people do it their own way. But I think giving people the opportunity to do it 1 day, it is going to create a certain amount of people gambling. I know because I've done it myself many times. I got 2 more evals, sold, bought 1 and closed on the chart. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've done that. Took 1. I used to just go for 10 or have 5 contracts and hit it twice. Trouble is, trading 10 contracts, it's only got to go against your 6 points, which is nothing, and you're screwed. I can't tell you how many of those I've blown. I'd say dozens and dozens. I think I've blown around about 350 evaluations. But there was somebody who put a post on just before Christmas how many evaluations, and I was amazed at how many people have blown over 1,000. Over 1,000. One guy had blown over 140 PA accounts, but there was a few that blown over 1,000. There was loads around the 600, so I'm thinking 350. I must be flipping one of the worst out. You're at 40, 45 evaluations. God, you're still a baby, mate. You've got a load more failures. No, I hope you don't. I do believe there are people who, yeah, I do believe there are people that won't quite have the... For me, I felt like I was in a battle with the markets. I was fighting the markets. So I think I was just one of those stubborn ones that you know, you got to bang your head against... you bang your head against the wall enough times, you realise it bleeds. Well, for me, I didn't. I think I was stubborn there. But yeah, I see some people saying, oh, I've blown another one. I'm up to 8 or I'm up to 9 now. But yeah, it is all part of the journey. You may do a lot less. It's hard to say, really. I suppose everyone's different. You know, some people can literally fall out of bed at 6 o'clock in the morning, chuck some running gear on, go for a 5-mile run, come home, have a shower, have a smoothie. They're focused in life. I unfortunately aren't one of them. I sometimes take quite a bit of motivating, but I think if you're very motivated, if you're just that type of person, you probably have an easier life trading, I would have said. But yeah, I'm not one of them. I can get out of bed at 6, but going out for a run. There was a time when I used to do some running, but I need quite a lot of motivating when it comes to, going out and doing some exercise. I go to the gym and lift some weights now and again, not as much as I started in September. We had a new gym and I was going sort of like 4-5 days a week, just for an hour in the evening. And then when it started getting a bit wintry time, I started slacking a bit. So, overshoot, we could come down into here. This, to me, there's a second entry short there, but I'm not convinced that's... Yeah, in fact, that is probably an overshoot as well, isn't it? So there is a second entry short there. I just don't know because it's come down and retested this. So I'm just not looking to go short there just at the moment, because if it depends how you look at this. In fact, if I open that up, it's touching a couple of times there. I'll go as far as to say we may have just broken that for the first time. So it's hard to say. I'm not convinced we got an overshoot there, but maybe we have. But I just, when you get a higher low, you don't know whether it's just going to trigger and push up for a new high. So it doesn't like it's going down there, but I just don't like the way it's come down a few times and tested this top and pushed up. So I don't know whether that's a trap. We'll soon find out. Yeah, see, I'll be concerned now if I took that trade, which is another reason why I'm not in a short at the moment. Although that does look like an overshoot, sometimes it just doesn't act like one. I have heard Max say multiple times he's not convinced that one is. I don't quite know how he decides what is and isn't. But for me, I agree with you. It was mentioned, it looks like an overshoot. We've touched multiple times there and perfectly there. So I don't see how you can look at that any other way than an overshoot. But it might just mean we're having a break, because after an overshoot we can have a correction or a break or a reversal. So this might be a correction followed by a break. So I'm a bit on the fence as to know what's going on here, but we have had a break of the channel and a new low by a tick. So we could continue on up, I suppose. But while I don't know, I'm just not sure at the moment, which is why I'm just staying out of it. Yeah, I don't know about that. We do seem to be holding here at the moment. I do find now I can look at a picture and get a feeling for it rather than having to count. Well, when you get that feeling where you can't click the button quick enough, can you? How many years you trade with this price action? I've been trading for 3 years, a little over 3 years, but just over 2.5 years trading this strategy. I started trading currency. And I did that for about 6 or 7 months. And then I saw a couple of guys trading this one chart. And if you've ever traded currency, you've got multiple time frames, multiple currency pairs. There's just charts everywhere, and you spend most of your time looking for a currency pair to trade. Whereas I love this when I saw it done. One chart, one time frame, that's it. No messing around, no charts everywhere. This is, I like this. It suits me, this. I'm quite a wired person, so this fast moving stuff just kind of suits my personality, I think. I don't think I could sort of intraday trade it. It wouldn't be quick enough for me. I'd get bored, I think. I kind of like the fast moving stuff. Although we're not moving very fast at the moment. Yeah, see, when I started trading, we never had the 80-90% off. I was paying, I think at the cheapest, I was paying $75 when I started with Apex. But I started with, was it UProfit? I think it was UProfit. I paid $500 to restart a PA account. And that was like a year and a half ago. I can't believe I did that. $500, and I blew it within an hour or so. So if you ever get that option, forget it. If you're going to blow it, don't pay $500 like I did. That was pure stupidity. But it was the first one I'd passed, and I thought I'd cracked it as a trader, and I thought it was just bad luck. So no, yeah, if I'm going to give you a piece of advice, I'd say just really try and limit the amount of money you throw at it, because it can be really costly. I know people who've put literally thousands and thousands into learning to trade. Put it this way, I first started to learn currency with a guy called Andrew Lockwood, and he worked on the trading floor in the London Stock Exchange during the 80s, and he traded for big city banks. And in the early 2000s, when he went on the computers, he had to learn to trade again. He told me he lost over £100,000 relearning to trade again. So you can spend a hell of a lot of money. Obviously the more spare cash you got, the more money you're going to throw at it. Okay, so there is a possible 2 legs up, possible second entry long. I'm just not convinced we're coming down, because prices being held by the top of that. So what I would like to see is a trade trigger. It may come down, but for me, I think it's more likely to push up. I'm not 100% convinced of that, but it's enough to keep me out of a trade. We've got a lot of support here, so going short into that lot, for me, it is risky. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but for me, that's mega risky. Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times it's holding. So what I'd like to see is that to trigger, and then to maybe take a... See, there's a possible failed second entry short here. We haven't triggered there, but I would much prefer to trigger that bearish bar there, at least then, because there's probably going to be some traders trying to pick a top, thinking, well, I really want to see that trigger short first, because there's a leg down, 2 attempts to go higher. Let's have a look at this. So that looks like a channel. We've had a break. It does look like we're pushing up. There's a higher low there. Stroke failure. This is pushing up for me. I'd expect this to go towards the highs. So I'll be looking for a long here. Unfortunately, it hasn't triggered, so I can't take it. As tempted as it is to just buy it, I can't. But if I was looking at that chart on the yes, I'd have 100% bought that. Unfortunately, there's just no real setup there. See if we come back a bit. Let's have a look. Okay, I like that. We've had a push up, bit of an overshoot, so it's created a bit of a reversal. We've come down, we bounced a bunch of times, and now we're pushing up. So I think the chance of us getting higher, this is pretty good. Unfortunately, there's no setup there. I've given up just buying it because it looks good. Yeah, sometimes even if it wasn't a setup, but it looked like it was pushing up, I'd just buy it. Trouble is, great if it works, but if it doesn't, you just kick yourself. Okay, so maybe a failure here. I like the fact that it's triggered a short there. If that to me looks like it's going to push above there, I'll take a failure here. Let's see how we get on there. But we are a bit from the EMA, so yeah, another reason not just to buy there. Okay, excuse me, just for 1 minute. I'm just going to take a quick bathroom break. Okay. There's a possibility. Let's have a look here. We're pushing up now. Unfortunately, there's just no setup there for us. As nice as it's looking. Hmm. I don't like taking those ones with the bearish bar. It is a failure. I just don't like taking them. I'd much prefer that to be bullish. I'm still just not convinced about this picture. If it would have triggered that bearish bar, then pushed up, then maybe a bit different, but it didn't. Not only that, we got two legs up there as well, so you just don't know whether we're going to come back and retest this or retest some of this line. It's just a bit hard to say. I'm not a fan of that. Okay, so after we had that higher low, that I think was a nice trade there. Failure higher low, whatever you want to call it. I really like that. And after we had that, for me, we were going to push up and make a new high, so we're only a couple of ticks away from it, or a tick or two away from it at the moment. So let's see if we get maybe a leg or two back. Yeah, another reason not to take that one, I think. There may just be a little micro channel there with a break and a new high. Touch, touch, touch. So you don't know whether it's going to trigger this and come down. You don't know whether it's going to start going sideways. Just not a massive fan of what I'm seeing at the moment. It is a pretty choppy ass day today, so we could end up being something like that. I mean, look, there we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 touches there. Could sort of be rangy a bit. Another reason sort of not to take a failure. This looks to me like it's struggling to get up. We are right at the very top of this channel again, right on it. So you just don't know whether people are going to be thinking about buying. Would you want to buy there? Not really. This is where you want to buy. This is where you're going to sell. So I just was clearly struggling to get up there. So I don't know whether this market is just going to turn. But we had this, and then we couple of times more. Then we're really going slow. There's not a lot of volume in there. It concerns me. This is just going to drop. Well, you weren't wrong, mate, were you? I've just sent you a picture, Kev, if you're still there. I'm not sure whether you're there or you're not here. You might have gone. What time was this? I don't remember. I'll look at that video in a bit. No. Kev Cundiff. He just sent me a video. Yeah, Bitcoin is dropping, isn't it? It's a smidgen over $40,000 now. It was just under 49,000 a week ago, so that's a fair old drop. This looks like it's going to drop to me, this does. I hate it when it goes slow like this. I can see a big drop. There you go. Oh, you're here, are you? Oh, yeah, I got you. I just sent you a picture. I'll have a look at the video after. It is blurry, but I can see what it is. I'm guessing that would sting a bit if that hit you. I bet it would. Okay, possible second entry long. Oh, I just don't know. I hate it when it goes slow. We wouldn't feel it. Yeah, you probably wouldn't know a thing, would you? That quick. So, second entry long. Sometimes I take this, but not when we're really struggling to get above here, because I've been in trades like this before, and you sit here all day nice and patient, you take something, and it just drops. I'm just not a massive fan of this. It's really slowing down. It's times like this, sometimes it can just drop. It isn't set up anyway. I've got a feeling it's going to be one of those days today. So I was watching the other day, Kev, something on YouTube. I was thinking about getting a small boat for the summer. I was looking at the electric motors. Some of those are flipping nippy. Expensive, but trouble is, if you've got a small boat, like a 4 or 5 meter dinghy, sometimes it's nice to have that peace and quiet on the river. It was That was the thing I was looking at, the torpedo thing. This thing here. They're not cheap. That thing there, I mean, that's, well, it's knocking on $2,000, that is. But these things go like shit off a shovel, some of them. And they're quiet as well. I was looking at those. What horsepower are yours? You got 2 on the back of yours, or 4? I think you got 2, haven't you? What are they? Okay, is this that drop I've been expecting? Expect to be friends about. Yeah. Yeah. Is this that drop I've been expecting? Let's see how far it goes down. $550 each. Wow. Yeah, they're powerful, aren't they? Are they guzzlers, are they? Do they go for a lot of fuel? I know they sound nice. I've seen some of your videos. Yeah, they sound lovely. On a plane, yeah. Not as much as you think, really. See, I know your fuel over in the US is cheap, but it's probably gone up a bit now. But at the moment, for a litre, we pay in about £1.70, which is about, I don't know, $2.20, something like that, per litre for rice. If I'm ever over that way, mate, I'll look you up before I come. I would like to go to the US. I've always wanted to. We did consider going to New York for a Christmas a couple of years ago. So I think we may do that at some point. We've been sort of, the closest we've been to the US is Cuba. We went to Cuba for 2 weeks about 10 years ago. That's about the closest we've got. Marine gas here. $4.20 a gallon. Wow, that's cheap. Was about 5 litres in a gallon. So that would be about £9 here, which is about 12. Wow, yeah, that's a third of the price. No wonder you can afford to run them. Mind you, during, I think, around about lockdown or just after lockdown, we were paying over £2, which is about £2.50 a litre. It's about £12.50. It's about $16, $17 per gallon. That's what we're paying at the highest. It has come down a bit, but it's just so expensive. See, I know with you guys in the US, I mean, you have bigger motors, bigger engines. We don't tend to over here. I mean, a big engine over here is about 3 litres, really. But most of the time, I know I got a Vauxhall Insignia, which is 2 litre injection. And it's not bad on the fuel. But you don't get any big gas guzzlers over here purely just because of the price. Obviously, your sporty cars and stuff like that. But yeah. Mercy. I have a feeling we might blank today. Well, all bar $50 in each account. Leg. Yeah, I'm not sure of this. I'm not even a fan of that channel anymore. I don't know what's going on here. So we've had this channel up there, we've had a break out of it, and we've pushed up and made a new high. We've had a couple of legs down. Can you check the 10,000 tick chart? Let's have a look. Hold your horses. Configure. Leg up. Some of that. Yeah. Yeah, that does look like a channel, doesn't it? 2 legs back and a bullish bar. Yeah, I think there's a good chance of that getting up to the highs. Unfortunately, because we seem to be coming to the top of a range and there's no setup, there was nothing down here to go long, really. But yeah, I think what you're saying there, 2 legs back, nice big bullish bar. Clearly fits, doesn't it? So leg up, downtrend, bit of a break, new low, push up, come back and working along this line. Yeah, I suppose. My slight issue is I'm not sure whether we're hitting a bit of a wall here. We'll soon find out. If that comes down and takes out that bullish bar there, game over. I think we're coming down. Unfortunately, there's no real setup on there. Possibly a higher low. It's just come too far for me and close to the highs and look what we got up before. So it's just nothing to do at the moment, unfortunately. My neighbour is cutting his grass now. Love the smell of fresh lawn. Wait for ginger. Yeah. Yeah, it smells better than it tastes. Have you ever tasted grass, have you? Or wheatgrass? I remember growing it here a bunch of years ago. We got into this big health kick. You ever tasted wheatgrass? It's absolutely flipping disgusting. It tastes nothing like you think it would. Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? They say you either love it or hate it. I've never met anyone who loves the stuff. It is foul. It's just such an odd taste. It almost makes you feel queasy, doesn't it? Taking it, it just makes you feel a bit odd. It's supposed to be good for you. We went through a bit of a health kick and growing all these sprouts and stuff. But yeah, it's flipping horrible, I got to say. Who would have? But no, sucks to feel like you know what's going on in the direction market. Yeah, it's hard to know, isn't it? I think though I've come to the conclusion that it's okay to not know what's going on. Sometimes I used to think, why don't I know what's going on? Sometimes it doesn't. You know, when the market goes slow and it ranges like that, most traders are staying out of the market, aren't they? The you know, like Max says, you just can't. We've all heard him say you just can't trade this stuff. You got to, and the smart traders stay out of it. So I've just given up now trying to figure out what's going on. I like to try and work out what I think's going on, but until you're really confident you know, the best thing to do is just to stay out because, you know, this 10,000, we're going to push up, 2 legs back, nice big bullish bar. It's the type of trade you would think would push up. But we do seem to be losing momentum and we're struggling. And what I've found from experience, when we struggle, it'll only do it for so long, and then usually I'll come back to the chart later, I've looked later, and we'll have a great big drop. So I'm always cautious when it's really slow, but sometimes I just used to trade these, but now I just tend to forget it because it's just not worth it. But it is okay just to accept that sometimes you just don't know what's going on. So it doesn't tend to worry me anymore. I mean, it does look like a channel, doesn't it, in a break? It's hard to say what it's going to do. 1 minute it looks bullish, next minute it looks bearish. We got a leg up. Right. I don't know. I just think it's, for me, it does, I do get the feeling, I mean, we're struggling every time that we're losing momentum. So it just makes me be a bit cautious. I mean, my mindset now, compared to what it used to be, it was almost like blood was rushing through my veins, and I had to get into a trade. You know, you were itching to get in, but I'm more than happy now to sit here quite patiently. It doesn't bother me in the slightest, patience now, because I've, you know, worked out through time that patience is about your best ally. And I think when you realise that, you know, I've never ever, my new strategy is you don't know. You don't need to know, do you? You don't need to know. Sometimes you just don't need to know what's going on. If it's sideways and it's congested, that means traders aren't sure whether it's going up or down. And if the best in the business aren't sure, you know, what the likes of we got. So it's your best weapon, really, patience. You know, when you learn to trade and you can, you know, I would class myself as in the intermediate level. I'm past all that beginner stuff. My skills are developing continuously, but I'm finding now I'm staying more out of bad trades and waiting for the good trades. But so many times I'd be itching to get in, and you know, I'd be jumping in. But yeah, after a while, you just learn it's just a waste of time, you know. And the only way you learn is you get way more value from your failures. Sometimes I'll get a message from someone who will say, you know, they've blown their accounts. You know, give me a bit of advice or whatever. I don't know whether to give up. And I just tell them, your losses are valuable. That's how you learn. So don't think of your losses as you've messed up and you're shit at this. It's the only way you learn from your losses. You learn not to get trapped. And that's how I've learned not to get trapped, by getting trapped. So it's kind of a good thing when you lose, because it's teaching you. But at the time, you just feel like a failure. And, you know, the downside to learning yourself is the money you got to put in. If it didn't cost us any money, then it wouldn't so much be a concern. But we're all aware of how much money we're putting in. I certainly am. But, you know, it's just that slow manipulation of that mind, getting it to work in your favour, and it will come in time. See, scalping, you need this bit. Yeah, absolutely. You know, I still take naive trades sometimes. The more the market beats you up the belly. Absolutely. So, if there's any newer traders here with us at the moment, just keep that in mind. The more the market kicks the shit out of you, the better you're going to be. We adapt to it, don't we? You know, whatever you go through in life, what type of hardship, it's amazing how you adapt. So, yeah, you know, look at the market, and when you fail, it's giving you valuable lessons for free. Well, not for free, but for cheaply. But just think in time, when you're sitting back rolling in, you know, and counting the pennies and enjoying more time off and holidays, you know, it's how you learn. It's very hard to realise that. It is. I don't know how many times I've felt crippled, mentally and emotionally crippled. And it really does beat you up emotionally. You know, anybody who's been trading a couple of years in here will know that. It really beats you up emotionally. But you've just got to walk away, take a bit of a break, and then come back. Fortunately, I'm lucky in that sense. A day or two goes by and I'm okay. But I have had times where I seem to be spiralling for weeks and weeks on end. I just can't seem to do anything right because I'm that frustrated. It's just like going out. It is, for me. I've never been in a bad relationship, but fortunately, but I know friends who are, and sometimes you go around their house and the slightest thing they're arguing. And it is, you don't get that break from it, and that's the trouble sometimes. It is like being in a spiral, and it's just so frustrating. I was watching one of Sam's videos the other day, and I was seeing him taking a bunch of trades, and I could hear the frustration in his voice. I felt really sorry for him because I know what it feels like. And you just, it doesn't matter what you do, And not only that, when you're not doing so well, it's as almost you get bad luck on top of it. It is soul destroying at the time, and I was watching Sam's video, and I felt sorry for him because I he seems to be where I think I was maybe 6 or 7 months ago. But it is how you get your valuable lessons from learning. The more you fail, the more you get trapped. You really learn not to. It's just a numbers game, but at the time, it really doesn't feel like it. But that's the unfortunate thing about trading. But with sort of great risk comes great reward. So if you can stick at it and get to that stage, you will get your rewards. And trading is, when you can trade, is probably about one of the best jobs you can do. Earning large amounts of money for working 2, 3, 4 hours a day. Where can you do that? And anywhere you want in the world. So it's got great rewards. You're never going to be out of work a day in your life. You never have to go out in the freezing cold. You can have what days off you want. It's not many jobs where you get that amount of freedom. Okay, I think I'm going to knock it on the head there. I've just hit that 3-hour mark. I got a quick $50 times 2. $100 minus fees over my accounts today. I like that. We got a leg up, 2 legs of correction, a higher low. I expected that to get to the tops, and it did what it was supposed to. Unfortunately, it's quite choppy, and I don't think on my chart there was a great amount of setups. Excuse me a second. So yeah, that's it for today. Just one of those days today. Not a lot of trades around, to be fair, but I got a quick $100 over 2 accounts. So, I mean, it may be 2 legs of correction and another leg up. We may get this measured move. But I'm tired now anyway. Yeah, you too, Kev. You too. Yeah, absolutely. To be honest with you, I'm happy at going out at 0. If that's the case, it's my job to sit patiently and wait for a trade. And if there isn't any trades, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy not taking anything. It doesn't bother me anymore. It's just how it is sometimes. So, and I missed that one, unfortunately. But there we go. It is what it is. You got to pee, haven't you? So there you go. So I appreciate all your comments. Have a great weekend. We'll be back Monday, full week next week. We had the holiday, didn't we, on Monday? So I'll be back again on Monday. So have a great weekend. I appreciate all the comments. Stay safe, and I will talk to you all on Monday. Bye for now.